The human psychology cannot conceive of free stuff without being damaged. I'm going to repeat that. The human psychology cannot conceive of free stuff without being damaged. One only has to look at the statistics related to lotto winners. Those who won big at the lotto or in a casino, they usually lose that money very soon thereafter because they end up wasting it on frivolous nonsense, and then usually they suffer more from the level of poverty they would experience after having wasted all that money than they would have suffered had they not had that money to begin with. And the reason for that is because it came without work. So we learn a big and important lesson from this fact, and that is we are not to accept free stuff. I always tell people, don't accept free stuff. Everybody loves a free thing, buy one get one free. Actually, you're paying the price usually of both when they tell you buy one get one free. It's just that the markup was so high to begin with that they could afford to give you one for free and still make a profit, right? Normally in that case. But what's important is that nothing is for nothing. This is a fact. This is what happens in life. Nothing is for nothing. And if you are going to start trying to live life by getting things for free, you are going to pay the price for it later with compounded interest. Because that's not only how banks work, but that is how the world works. Okay? For example, you can get away with eating candy bars and chocolates every day for a while. But later on you might suffer from diabetes. Okay, that is the price you're going to pay for it afterwards. You can get away with being lazy and not wanting to get up off the couch, but you are going to suffer from obesity potentially later on, or you're going to suffer severe health consequences even if not obesity. Okay, maybe you have good genetics, you're not predisposed to getting fat, but you may get other things from sitting on the couch and relaxing every day. Okay, because nothing compels you to get up from the couch. So we see this happening both on the individual level. We also see this happening on the level of nation state. Okay, for example, in certain countries, I think it's in the United States, more than 40% of Americans are obese. Okay, so what is that about? That is because of opulence. Okay, in third world, more impoverished countries, people don't have the luxury of obesity. Obesity would be a luxury. Everybody has to get up very early in the morning, work very hard all day to have their basic needs met. Whereas when basic needs are very easily accrued, most people don't actually know what to do with their time. Okay? Most people don't know that now that they have free time, now that their time is not dedicated to trying to find the means to survive, that they could invest in studying. For example, they could try to make headway in an academic field, scientific breakthroughs. They could try to invest time in alleviating poverty. There's a lot of things they can do. But because most people do not see beyond themselves and their own needs, when their basic needs are met, they basically just live for pleasure pursuits. They become hedonistic, they become fat, they become ugly, they become lazy, and they can't see it happening because it doesn't happen overnight. Okay? You can enjoy yourself today and tomorrow, but the price of that enjoyment will eventually come, and it will come with the vengeance. So again, free stuff, okay? Be wary of free stuff. Be wary of things that come too easy. This is when you should be worried, okay? People tend to worry when things are difficult. They tend to worry when they are working hard. They tend to worry when they are struggling. But the real worry should be when things are too easy. Because when things are too easy, this is when you deteriorate. Okay? This is when you start to become soft. And as you become soft, others are becoming hard. And as you become weak, others are becoming strong. And one day you will be taken out and you will not even be able to put up a fight. And that is because life was too comfortable and luxurious. This should also help you understand why it is not good to have a government from a country, the perspective of the country, that gives their people too many free stuff. Okay. So, for example, a lot of people would say that if you lived in a country where you got free food and free housing and free healthcare and free and a paycheck minimum sort of allowance for basic necessities, and that you would not need to work for any of these things, but that your job would be providing an income over and above this for you to pursue tertiary needs, that would be a good thing. People would, if you ask the average person, would you like to live in a country where you get all these things free? Wouldn't that be amazing? People will say, yes, that would be absolutely amazing. I would love to live in the country like that. Some people, actually, that's their perspective of what a government ought to be. But a country like that is doomed. Okay? It takes 1 or 2 generations for that country to be totally and utterly destroyed. Why? Because people are not motivated to do anything. That's as simple as it is. People are not motivated towards the collective success and progress of the country. They become incapable of being able to compete internationally, and they become just spoiled and entitled. And if poverty should visit them, they will be tormented beyond imagination because of the level of entitlement that they have become accustomed to. So from a governmental perspective, no, it is not good to give your citizens handouts. What's better is that they work towards being empowered. You help them become more capable so that they can secure the means for their own livelihood in innovative ways. This is also how you ensure that your country remains relevant. You can be part of the scientific community, you can be part of the breakthroughs, you can be part of the progress of nations and the world. So free stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is not a good thing.